Hello, good afternoon, morning, or evening, and welcome to the week two showcase of the Random Percent Cup. Today we'll have Bob Pineapple MD, Elf 35, Nimuva, and Diabetes the Second. Here with me today is Aaron 2U2. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
And yeah, it should be interesting. Again, this is what we do with our runners here. Our top runners from the week. Anyone who has won previously will not be recorded again because they do not actually factor in. You cannot win and take away a spot from somebody else. So, along with us tracking, we have Angel FM and Velu V. Say hi in chat, friends. And of course, this restream has been brought to us by the Brian Williams 42. We have this is not live, so we already know who's going to win. I mean, well, we don't know who's going to win, so it should be exciting to watch. But for those of you who are in the tournament, you're going to get to see the best of the best from this week. And we do have one repeat top four person in here in Niminva.
Yep, Nimuva did quite well in week one also. And like we said, looks like we're getting started here. See what we get in the initial chests, if we have the random chests or if we have standard chests and searches.
All right, no spells. We got some gold, and I missed the second one there. Oh, torch.
Yep, and that I believe that is vanilla, and we have gold in the top chest, so no keys today.
Yeah, no keys, but vanilla. That means that we will definitely have a gold grind available. Although to activate that, you'll have to bounce in and out of the throne room. I noticed that Bob Pineapple didn't do that.
Yep, I'll walk just straight down and into it. All four gold chests. Yeah, absolutely, we got the vanilla chest today.
And again, as a part of the random cup each week, most of the flags are just set to tri-state, which means they could be on, could be off. However, in this situation, we know that a few of them are on. And what is the flag set for this week again? Consistent enemies or mostly consistent enemies?
Probably dependable enemies. So we have the base flags. We have the monster stats are off, so vanilla monster stats, random monster EXP, vanilla abilities, but then consistent stats are on. So that means that the easier enemies are going to have much lower experience, and the harder enemies will have much higher experience.
All right, yeah, we see right off the bat Bob Pineapple taking on a slime for 6 experience. So we know slimes have rolled up at least.
Yep, and we have Camel here. We got people shopping. We have Diabetes in the back of home, I believe. He's in Tablet Cave there and found the wings. Actually, not wings. Said wings. It's
yeah, dragons have wings, so that kind of makes sense. But
yeah, it was the chest glitch. Pineapple grabbing the magic armor, the lock shop in Catland.
all right, we did see some very cheap equipment. I believe the silver shield was purchased on at least one of our players' ends. It looks like that's what Nim got. I think he got the magic armor too. So already full on defense, but what did he get there? Yeah, I guess he got the flame sword. So Nim went in heavy and got everything.
Yeah, I mean, why not? If you got all the best gear in the shop, might as well get it.
With random prices, I mean, you could get lucky, you could get unlucky, but it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal this time to get everything. Yeah, the flame sword, ultra cheap. The silver shield, very cheap, and then the magic armor was, just a little over 1,000. So everything was easy to get this time around.
Yeah, funny. You get the no keys, you get the gold grind, and then get everything for like 1,500.
So we've seen Cantlin already, and now we see Grinham. And he's not going to need to check the shop, but we do have a few items in here. Do you remember vanilla-wise? Is there anything interesting inside of Grinham that the players are going to want?
I think it's an herb, a torch, and a chest of gold.
All right, so we might see them just sail right over top of it then.
Yeah, with the vanilla chest and searches, we know that Urgic's armor will be in Hawksness. We know that the harp, assuming we need the harp, will be at the bottom of Garen's grave. Stones of Sunlight in the preview cave as usual, and the token on the world map somewhere. So there should be a search spot in Cantlin.
Right, but with our starting stats, unfortunately, no one is really able to do that. You would need just a few more hit points. Maybe if Bob Pineapple had 31, he could possibly make a blind run to that overall search spot. But unfortunately, right now, I mean, with 6 herbs and all of that, but maybe it's not worth it at this point.
Yeah, if I were doing this, I wouldn't be checking right away. I'd be trying to get experience or something, to get myself up a bit.
Of course, there's still the possibility that we have short Charlock, correct? Where there wouldn't be anything in that position.
Yeah, it could be short Charlock, or it could also be open Charlock. So
yeah, open. Sorry, that's the one that I meant.
So if we have short Charlock, then they still have to go up the stairs to get the sword, since we know that is in Charlock Castle.
So the flag set this week with the experience being consistent, randomized but consistent, because it operates off of the general level of the enemies. It tends to create a mostly similar experience, but a little bit random. Like right there, we saw that a Wraith gave 44 experience, and in the normal game, a Wraith gives 42. So it's a little different, but not that big of a deal.
And Gilf up to level 4 already.
Yeah, there are a few enemies specifically that we'll have to kind of keep an eye out for. Basically, enemies that are exceptions to the rule in the regular game tend to operate oddly in these flags. Like metal slimes, at least past level 8 will not be worth, or may not be worth the experience that they normally would. It's probably going to be around 30. Goldmen tend to give a fairly decent amount of experience for their level now, instead of the normal 6.
Yeah, it's interesting the way that it all plays out with the stuff.
Golems tend to be very downgraded because their ranking is actually below Goldmen, I think, or right above. So you usually don't put those two enemies on par with each other. So you won't see people fighting a lot of Golems unless they are just really wanting to get beat up bad for very little reward.
So speaking of golems, looking at the initial monster zone, it was just the slime, the red slime, which I believe we have vanilla monster zones. Which would then make it so the golem is only available at the spike down in Charlock.
That does make some sense too. That so you only have to fight one golem, and it's going to be awful, but you know where the fairy flute will be. So we'll see if they realize this. They'll probably go get it, just because fighting a golem straight up is going to cost you at least 1 heal more normally. It's very hard to take one out without having to heal up without the flute.
Yeah, they certainly pack a punch.
And the other enemy that tends to act a little bit unusual as far as the experience and such goes is the Armor Knight. It's not guaranteed because the top level enemies have massive ranges that their experience and gold can go into, but the Armor Knight is the second most valuable enemy as far as the game is concerned. So there's decent odds that Armor Knight could end up having 200-ish or more experience compared to the normal, I think, 172.
Yeah, that's for sure. But we know those are, I think, only in Charlock. If with the vanilla monster zones, Charlock, I don't think they're in Hawksness.
Good point. So yes, that final zone in Charlock is the only place we see the Armored Knights and the Red Dragons. So unless I don't think we have Stair Shuffle on, do we? Well, I guess we haven't seen yet. No, wait, we've seen at least the second floor tablets connected to first, which probably means Stair Shuffle is off.
Yeah, it looks like Stair Shuffle is off. We got Bob Pineapple in Garen's grave right now. He went through Swamp Cave and it was just outside of there. So he's going down into the bottom there, it looks like.
Well, we do know, well, it's extraordinarily likely. Well, I don't know what the odds are. Let's say it's still 50% at this point that the harp is in the last spot in grave, so it's worth checking. And you have to dive grave anyway, and the enemies aren't. They're actually probably pretty good for this level, just with the stats that we started out with.
Yeah, the stats, even though they meant like we started with 5 strength, but I mean, being able to get a a full best buyable gear right away. I mean, you can take out wolves probably almost instantly. You got Bob Pineapple hitting level 5, getting 11 HP and 4 MP, and nothing else.
The wolf is an enemy that's actually a little bit downgraded in these, just because it seems to have a lot of experience for where it is in the game. So, 33 experience, you're still going to take it, but it's just not quite as sexy as normal.
Yeah, not as lucrative, but Wyvern's given 83. That's pretty good.
It's definitely rolled up. And for those of us who are not in the tournament, there was a little bit of a database provided that gives you an idea about what sort of experience ranges the enemies would have. I don't know if it was. I think there was one that was updated after a while, but it still gave you the general idea. So you had an idea of what they could be, and if you really studied it, you could kind of figure out enemies that'd be better than others. But I don't know that anyone would put that much effort into it.
It looks like we got everybody just kind of on the grind here in this area, just north of Garenham. All these wyverns and everything, everybody's taken out.
If you're checking my audio, I suppose I should actually talk so that you can hear me. But yeah, it looks like it's just a lot of grinding here early on. Once you know vanilla chests are on, this seems to be a very heavy priority because you're not going to have to put a lot of effort into finding stuff underground or anything like that. You know exactly what you need to do as far as that's concerned. It's just going to be the overworld at this point. So grinding becomes pretty much everything.
You know where the things are, so it's like, well, might as well grind up till you get some sort of healing. Maybe heal more or hurt more, possibly. Or something so you can actually survive out there, because we did see that fairly large swamp outside of Swamp Cave when they went through it.
And it looks like our experience lead right now is with Nim, although Diabetes II is just right behind, getting to level 8, immediately going back into town to refresh. It is a very good zone with this equipment that lets you hit a lot harder than you normally would at this level. And definitely a good grind, and we see, and it's not a surprise that so many of our top finishers found this. This could be a separation between them and the rest of the pack.
Oh yeah, I know I did not find that zone when I played.
All right, we see Diabetes going in for the coordinates, has the stats to be able to get there now, heal spell, and the hit points that withstand. And drum roll, 7 south, 91 west. Remind me, is this a full-size map or is this a small map?
It's a random size map.
So we don't know. Although I think 91 would probably exclude very small. I'm not sure. I can't remember the exact numbers.
Yeah, that sounds correct. And it's probably either the medium or the large.
And if you've seen that and you're Diabetes and you see 91 west and you're pretty close to the right side already, you might be thinking, okay, so if this is a small map, the reverse count probably isn't going to work. since it doesn't give you walls like it does in the 120 by 120 full-size map.
Yeah, and it looks like there isn't really much out on this continent. So I think everything is through the swamp cave there. So they're gonna probably have to get the princess to find where that spot is.
But yeah, speaking of the Goldman, we see they're worth 106 experience. That is absolutely wonderful.
I'd take the 300 experience from them. And we got Bob Pineapple down at the bottom of the grave. Looks like there is a treasure guard on the chest there. We see a Magi Wyvern.
Alright, and we see Cyberdarkus followed Bob Pineapple, GG.
Bob to sleep and hits him for the exact HP he had, and he dies. Wow.
Oh man, that is... You don't feel like you would have a problem against them with that vanilla, behavior. Just hurts.
That's a heartbreaker.
Is he going right back in? Are we gonna see Grave attempt number 3? No, this is a swamp. I think he's doing something slightly different.
It's possible because Grave was right outside of swamp. I mean, it was like 10 tiles away.
Nope, not quite. He decided to break off a little bit, which I totally feel. And yeah, now we see that hard border at the top. That probably means we got the full size map. And meanwhile, we do see Hurtmore at level 10. That's going to make that grind up there just incredibly easy. And I think it's where Nim is probably just going to go do something else now. Hurtmore gives you the ability to kind of do whatever you want as far as world exploration goes.
Oh yeah, Nim casting Repel, healing up, and we'll see where he goes from here.
Is he? I think he's doing a coordinate check now too. Again, we have the MP and so on to get it. Especially with Swamp Cave nearby, if you're aware of it, you really want to have this information as soon as possible to know if you need to get that princess, just to get that part out of the way. And with Vanilla Monsters and Hurtmore, you'll be going up against a green dragon, and you can take out a green dragon with Hurtmore, usually without too much of a problem.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, if you have 15 MP, you're probably going to win.
So meanwhile, Divey is hitting level 10 as well. We noticed both of them getting to, in a lot of seeds, whoever gets to Hurtmore first usually has a very significant advantage, even when it comes a little bit later along, not in the first half of the levels. So it'll be interesting to see how that tends to play out here as we go along.
Yep, and Numa going straight for the spike to save Gwaelin. Possibly just to grind on it.
Yeah, so the first 15 minutes or so of the seed for Nim was spent grinding, and now more grinding. Meanwhile, Bob Pineapple has found the Fairy Flute. Kudos to him for actually picking it up.
Yep, I mean, he knows that he'll need it for the spike down in Charlock. We got Diabetes and Nimova both grinding on the spike in swamp, and we got Gelf just going into Garen's grave right now. And Sherlock sighting on Bob Pineapple's screen there.
So there's still a little bit to find. We have to have Hawksness to get the armor. We have to find the Stones Cave somewhere. The overworld search spot should have the token, and then Harp in the bottom of Grave, which Pineapple is already well aware of, unfortunately.
So there's the treasure guard on that. We don't know if there'll be a treasure guard on the other ones, because that being price stated, that's per chest or search spot.
Right, and that makes it too tricky to count on. If you knew 100% it was on, you could possibly not worry about the count or Gwaelin and just head, over that way somewhere and just search whenever you find a related enemy. Which I believe, with treasure guards, there's no vanilla logic to it. It always operates the exact same enemy groups.
Yeah, that sounds correct. Looks like Nimova has saved the princess and is heading home with her.
Directly there, not even bother with the MP heal up, but of course there's a town right next door, so that might be quicker than walking over there anyway. Especially if you had a little bit more MP and you could just cast Return out, that would work perfectly.
Yeah, or a way to get like wings out of your inventory or something.
Now Guelph also finding Cole, finding that fairy flute. And again, our top players, the players on the top of the screen, are definitely favoring exploration, while both Nim and Diabetes have been hitting the grind pretty hard. And the experience gap, like looking from top to bottom, is pretty massive at this point, with Diabetes having something like 6 times as much experience as Bob Pineapple.
Oh yeah, that is quite the discrepancy there. But we do have a new town on Bob Pineapple's screen.
And will it be a town, or will it just be armor? And Hawksness is actually a pretty decent zone to grind in, if that's what it is. I don't know. But yeah, he's picking up a level 8 now, too. Again, level 10 is our kind of turning point level. And when it's late like that, you always kind of grimace. Like, if you're playing this and you go in and you see that you haven't been grinding and Hurtmore is 1 level away, it's a real bad feeling.
Yeah, especially knowing that you have the armor, or the Axe Knight rather, on the spike there, guarding the armor. It's like, you really want to hurt more for it.
Now we see Nim diving the grave. Might be the first one of the group here to obtain the harp. It's been a bit of a travail for the others.
And we have Bob getting the Stones of Sunlight. No treasure guard in that cave.
No, easy peasy. And while we're looking at some of the stats of our characters, we got the hit points. Diabetes is way out with 135 at level 12. Everything else is not particularly good. Strength is inching up. It looks like, I think either 10 or 11 gave a pretty decent amount of strength. But the agility, kind of the same category. Like, the stats really around 10 and 11 was where it starts to kick up a bit. But we're still nowhere close.
Yeah, you can see that the agility, and it was down below 30 for level 8 and 9. So yeah, that's, you don't really want to explore too much when it's that low.
There we go, Nim picking up the harp. The first one, although he was, I don't know if Diabetes got there yet. I don't think he ever went down. So the third one to the cave, the first one to the harp. That's probably going to mean something.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Diabetes has even gone through Swamp Cave yet. I think he just sat on the Green Dragon the whole time.
it's something to say for player styles when it comes to this. I watch enough of some people that I have a decent feel, and Diabetes is somebody that if there's a good grind, he's going to take it. That he's not going to lose a bunch of time overworld exploration because of bad leveling, which is something I wish I was a little bit better at.
For sure, that's definitely his play style. It's been that way for quite a while, and it seems to pay off.
All right, Nim finding the harp now, right after, or excuse me, the staff cave right after getting the harp. So good times, and you always want it to find him in those order, or that order if you can.
Yeah, Bob had found that before. And looking at the coordinates now, Nim is looking pretty close actually where he is.
Well, he's not going for it because he's going the wrong direction, I think.
No, he's walking straight there.
Oh, yeah, I was reading it backwards. I forgot. Yeah, you have to do that. So never mind. He's almost there.
Got one tile off.
Yeah, no treasure guard, so that would have been a very bad strategy to just wing it. I don't know. Do you think... I think everyone's going to wind up with Gwaylin at this point. It doesn't seem like it's a good idea not to, especially considering how easy it is to get her.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that there's, pretty much nothing on the first continent other than those two towns and Swamp Cave. I mean, you basically need it, and if the map, not knowing the size, is like, you can't do a reverse count, so 91 is, well, where does it start,
So, Nim going into Mountain Cave, there are... Yeah, 2 reasons to go in the Mountain Cave, which is the Fighter's Ring and the Death Necklace. So I think he's going to take a peek here to see if the Death Necklace is active. Considering where hit points are, that could be very important. And you might as well grab the Fighter's Ring. It's an extra 2 AP.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, no reason not to. We have Gelf and Hoxness. Looks like he's heading towards the armor.
Yes, Hurtmore. He knows it's an Axe Knight. He's got really good shot here unless he gets caught by his sleep. Yes, good to know we have no active Death Necklace. Hopefully, none of our players got the Troll Death Necklace this time, unlike last week.
I suppose there's still the 1 in 32 chance of the Death Necklace showing up in that chest.
Yes, now it's forever being known as the Brian Williams Necklace. Alright, and Guelph has found Brecconary. I guess it's a good place to rest, but there's not going to be a whole lot going on there.
Yeah, looking to heal up after he got his armor there and at Hoxness, and there's a cave just north of there. I think that might have been the Stones Cave. Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, and Nim finding Remolder? We've seen this before, but, I mean, he goes in and just leaves, because there's really nothing going on in Remolder and Seed, since we already have keys. Or we don't need keys, excuse me.
Yeah, and the wings in the chest there. That beat us up to level 13, continuing the grind here. Got Bob, level 9, still trying to inch up towards his Hurtmore. Just gonna get that real quick here.
Yep, he's the last to hurt more. He's probably gonna feel it a little bit. But look at the stats too: 20 attack power. Level 10 was just a jackpot of good things.
Oh, for sure.
And we've seen the separation when both Nim and Diabetes were just about 100 experience apart, where Diabetes is sat still and just keeps fighting that green dragon, while Nim is just kind of left and has been fighting pretty much everything. As Chad has pointed out, it's been pretty efficient in that search. This will get him the armor, and that'll leave him one thing to find in the overworld, the stones, which as we've seen, isn't super hard to find. So wouldn't be surprised to see him back in that grind before too long.
Yeah, well, it looks like he just needs to go about a street north from Hawksness, and he'll find both Breckenelli and the freebie cave, and then, yeah, just turn into stuff and start grinding. Level 14 at heal more for Diabetes.
I mean, with Vanilla Chest, we know that Erdrick's sword is inside of Sharlock in the basement. The advantage potentially of doing the heavy grind early is knowing that if you see the strength really explode, that you might not have to go into Sharlock. The way that the enemies are in, I don't know if we'll see a preemptive dive. I kind of think we won't, because you won't see armored knights or red dragons on the sword dive, so you have pretty good odds to get to that bottom zone without taking damage or without losing heal mores, even if you wind up doing it all in one go.
Yeah, that's true. You'd think people would wait till level 14 to go, especially, not having the heal more. I mean, then MP is kind of limiting. I mean, only 63 at 14, so...
Alright, well, Nim has picked up everything he needs, going directly to Gruinham, which was housing the jerk. And at that point, we'll probably see him go back in the swamp cave.
Yeah, more than likely hit up that grind. I mean, possibly grind in Sharlock, you never know, but we'll see.
Diabetes setting up a count. We'll see if he goes in after the princess now. No, it looks like he's going to do this manually. And maybe not. I think he changed his mind.
Yeah, maybe going back.
I actually think I watched him do this one live, and I'd forgotten a lot about what happened. But I remember seeing the exact same thing and being like, oh, he must have changed his mind.
Yeah, there he goes to get the princess.
And Nim is not going for the green dragon. Is he going to do a sword dive early? I'm trying to think of what else he might be interested in doing if he's not going there.
Be that, or simply maybe wants to grind in the monsters in Hawksness, or possibly in Sharlock, because I mean, we know those are going to have the highest experience.
I don't know. I mean, a green dragon isn't perfect, but compared to Axe Knight with sleep and not having an enemy, 2 steps away at all times. But yeah, it looks like he's going to go in for the sword early, probably just kill some stuff along the way, but I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot of magic, so he's swinging and healing, and he doesn't have heal more.
Yeah, possibly just checking to see if it is short Sharlock and whether he has to go up or down. We do not have short Sharlock, we have the full.
That is a good point. The Green's experience rolled, well, I think it's almost vanilla, whereas the Axe Knight rolled down just a little bit. Oh, and Nim saying in chat that he wanted the Golem grind in short Sharlock, so it is probably very good that that is not what happened, because as we know, the golem was probably worth like 100 experience at the most.
Yeah. So, normally if this was, the standard experience stuff, then that would be a very good grind. But in this case, yeah, lots of rounds for little experience doesn't seem very worth it.
Yeah, it's a peculiarity of the way that the consistent stats are done. It's just done by instead of by what the enemy's actual experience and gold are, it's done by their ranking. And golems, for whatever reason, are ranked basically the same as goldmen. But that's the same reason why armored knights are so much better, is because they're second only to red dragons. There's other enemies too. If you look at the list and study that, some people will be more likely to be lower than higher, just because the game itself doesn't properly distribute experience and gold in an even manner, which you don't really expect it to. There's reasons to give some things more and less. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that if at some point McGrew might change that, just because the way that the game has it set up isn't really the way that it works. Like if golems were acted in completely like they did in the vanilla game, where I believe they have less hit points and uh, are just more of a, you can fight them more mid tier, then it would make sense. Because I don't think golems hit quite as hard in vanilla 2, do they?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you only fight him the one time, and I haven't played vanilla in a while, so I kind of don't remember. Well, looks like Gulp has saved the princess, and Diabetes is out there trying to find all the things. He does have the flute, but hasn't found any of the other spots yet.
Yeah. Bob has obtained his vengeance upon the Magic Wyvern, gotten that harp.
Like Diabetes is gonna go get his armor here. He's found Hoxness.
Yeah, now that he's on the move, as long as his exploration is on point, he'll probably get that stuff pretty quickly.
Yeah, I expect him to find all the things fairly quickly here. I mean, we know that the stones are nearby. Grave being right outside Swamp, he probably dipped into that, and it's like, well, maybe he'll go down to the bottom of that later.
We haven't really seen a lot of or any sort of significant exploration issues, I think, and that might just be because, again, we're watching the top finishers of this particular one. So why would we see it that way? I imagine that the people who didn't finish up here might have had bigger issues and struggled finding some of the things.
It doesn't look like stuff is really too far away, because I mean, you come out of Swamp Cave, and then there's Baron's Grave right there, and then I think they walk southwest, and then the Harp Cave is right there, and then as you go east, Cole was right there, and then I think it was, Hoxus and secondary, so it was all kind of in a line, it seemed.
Yes, thank you, Veda, for correcting us in chat. That is, the golems do have a lot less hit points, which is probably why they're ranked so low in the thing. But also because it's generally ranked in the order that you're supposed to find them.
I wonder how difficult of a change that'd be for McGrew, just changing the enemy ID. I don't know. Dead Gallop and Mountain Cave here, looking at the top chest.
I wonder. We've seen some of our other players just completely magnet towards the two potential items and not check everything else. I wonder if Guelph knows exactly what those things are. I mean, I wouldn't. I would be checking everything.
Yeah, he may not have recognized that it is a vanilla chest, so that's always a possibility. Some people just don't have that knowledge.
And it's not that big of a deal because Mountain Cave's pretty small anyway. So it's not like you're losing any sort of substantial time.
Right, yeah, and having outside, it's not an issue. So I think when he maybe where he saw the fighter's ring and then just kind of knew.
Another question that could determine how this ends is what Diabetes is doing about the overworld search spot. Because if our tracking is correct, and I don't remember seeing him get Gwalen, he did look like he set up a spot to do a count, but that's still 90 some steps across the water. Could be kind of a challenging thing to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that count. I mean, if I see 90, I want to get the princess.
This is and Bob Pineapple's talking about the Axe Knight grind possibly not being the most optimal thing. And it's one of the elements I think of the random flags is that you have to know a lot of information about the game to execute when certain things happen in certain ways. So yeah, so much about that. Diabetes does have Wayland, so we just saw the coordinate check.
Yeah, one thing with vanilla abilities is harder monsters tend to have really annoying things. I mean, the Axe Knights have sleep, the Red Dragons have sleep, Star Wyverns have heal more, Armored Knights have both hurt more and heal more. So I mean, you got a lot of nasty stuff out there. Hey, Beat finding the mountain cave, going to get his checking on the death necklace, and probably going to get the fighter's ring.
Now, Nim pulling even with Diabetes on levels. We do see a difference in builds, I believe. That Nim going with the strength agility makes the hit points a little bit lower. However, with the vanilla setup, that extra agility with Silver Shield and that defense should possibly be able to repel almost everything in Charlock by the time we're in Ghost stats.
Yeah, I actually didn't notice the different build on Nim, but yeah, that's a good point.
I noticed the hit point difference, and the HP agility has like sweet spots, I think, in comparison to HP strength. Which did I say? I said HP agility. I meant strength agility. But there's certain sweet spots where I think it's better, but then extremely high hit points. I'm not sure if I would still feel that way. I think the people who pick those builds probably have different opinions.
Yeah, I know there are a few runners out there that tend to run strength agility for certain reasons. It might be, if they've done more chaos or something, because you figure higher agility helps to run away from all the annoying chaos enemies in Charlock.
And the fact that Death Necklace was only on 50% helps, because the Death Necklace is one of those variables that really hurts the strength agility build, I think, in general.
Yeah, not having the extra hit points, yeah, it makes it so then if the Death Necklace is on, you can't take advantage of it, or not as early, possibly.
I think Guelph just picked up the harp, so everyone's got all the important things, just needs to turn in stuff now. Well, it doesn't seem that Guelph has the armor yet. Has he seen Charlock, or?
I don't know that he has. He's kind of heading in that direction now, though.
Sorry, I meant Hawksness, but yeah, you knew what I meant.
I think you pass by Sharlock on the way to Hawksness if you kind of go south far enough.
And speaking of names, there was a small adjustment. I know Game Boy has been working on some different speed up mods, little things, and something I think he said that works. And I haven't tested it because I usually don't do anything except whatever the standard release is. But something that will print out 2 letters instead of 1, so it's like an in between the normal speed and fast text. It'd be interesting to see if that ends up someday becoming part of standard. If we see interesting 2-letter name combinations, since it won't change the speed.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Looks like Gulf is going to get his rainbow drop in the back of Garenham. We got Bob and Nim both grinding on the Green Dragon. And probably Diabetes heading back to the Green Dragon himself. Oh, no, he's continuing on.
I think he did a warp out because he had hit a dead end and just decided to replenish his stuff. But yeah, not finding the staff cave at the same, having to go back for it, that one might hurt a little bit.
Yeah, I think he traveled west instead of south, and as you can see on the screen, it's right there.
All right, now that he's got that, we'll see the quick McGranaham check, and then we're just going to see a whole bunch of Green Dragon Genocide on the screen, I think.
Yep, that's what we got on 3 of the screens already. Then the question of what is the go level?
Now, out of curiosity, this is something that I never did this sort of flag set before version 3, so I'm not aware. But before version 3, with these flags, was the Green Dragon still on the spike in the Swamp Cave, or was it something else?
I believe that the Green Dragon was added to the pool of spike monsters in 3.0, but if it was vanilla or vanilla zones, then the Green Dragon would be on there because that is a vanilla monster.
Okay, I wasn't sure if like somehow that couldn't happen or whatever, but that makes sense.
And I got Nimova refilling and Garenham and everybody else is going in here.
It's interesting to see that Guelph still only has the 1 death. But that also means that he hasn't been doing this grind as long as the rest, because I think the majority of the deaths from Nim and DB2 are all just from this grind.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. I mean, do the death warp and then 15 seconds in the throne room and walk right back. Otherwise, if you have the 8 MP, cast outside, walk to Garenham and heal. I'm not sure if that's a time save.
And as far as go level goes, I guess we're looking at the strength and MP gains at this point. There's really nothing else. We see the experience difference between Nim and DB2. Looks like about 3 to 4. Yeah, I would say like 4 Green Dragons. But he's going to have to go back and heal first. So If the go level winds up being dicey, we might see something change. Otherwise, it looks like Nim has a fairly solid lead at this point.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Just looking on strength to get up 79, not going to be enough. Oh, we also don't have the sword, so there's that too.
Yeah, the future AP, I guess you could say, is going to be whatever strength is plus 42, unless the player did not get the fighter's ring. I don't know if Bob Pineapple did, but I think Guelph did, and I can't remember. Diabetes did too, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if I saw Bob Pineapple in the mountain cave. He's saying in chat that he didn't get it.
All right. So yeah, we still have a fairly large gap between the two stats, though. So I don't think we're going to see that get. We might get it in one level, but with 75 MP, that's 9 Heomores. So even with the incredibly large hit points, and assume you'll get a couple doubles with that. Actually, assuming a couple doubles would be kind of a risk with that few Heomores, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, without doubles, I mean, when you get 75 MP, I mean, you probably want 140 attack power.
Right. So with all of the gear, Nim would have 121 attack power, so he'd still be low. But Diabetes going in for he's going in for the sword. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. One thing, do we know, is fairy water on or off?
He was just checking for short Charlock, so he's bailing out too and probably going back to the grind here right away. And I don't know if I've seen anyone use fairy water. I haven't observed that, but something about it makes me think that it's off.
Yeah, I mean, because you figure with no death necklace, and the lower attack power right now, I mean, if you could use the fairy water, then Angel's saying fairy water is off, so that definitely changes things.
So right now, the difference, and this is at level 15, so it's going to change in a moment. But right now, the difference between the strength agility and strength HP builds lets Nim, kick out 3 additional enemies in Charlock just by the virtue of the defense power difference. But that's probably not going to stick for very long.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with this next level here. Nim about to get level 16.
Alright, that's 123 attack power with 10 Heomores. That is a very significant gap still, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I never want to go on 123 attack power, that's for sure.
And honestly, the fairly large increase in agility, and this is not something I'm sure that he's thinking about at the time, because this is more of a, eye in the sky observation. That's probably not good, because that just, even if it gets you, in the next level to possibly being able to break Axe Knights, it increases the likelihood that everybody else is going to be able to repel everything you're repelling.
Yeah, that's true. But Smashy making a good point. Having to walk through the Red Dragon and AK zone and stuff, to get the sword, and also just to get down to, the Dragon Lord himself. I mean, it's tough, especially with the Red Dragons having sleeve. That just be terrible.
Oh no, there's no need to fast forward part there. This is peak Dragon Warrior Randomizer right here. This is what we really come. We don't care about the flags. We just want to see green dragons die.
Yes, let us fill the entirety of Swamp Cave with green dragon corpses.
I look forward to, at the end of this, seeing everyone throw out their green dragon numbers.
Yeah, it's going to be up there for sure.
Heck, you don't even need to wait. If you were involved and want to throw out those numbers right now, that's fine. Uh, we can compare and you can estimate. Heck, we could have a poll in the channel or something. If we had if the account was affiliated, we could even do betting on it.
Yeah, so we can only hope someday.
So we've seen the gap between Nimenbot and Diabetes expand a little bit because he went on that exploratory Sharlock check, and that really kind of cements Nim's lead at this point. So it might come down to a how bad is the bottom zone in Sharlock? Like, is he able to get through the stuff, or does he get beat up, sort of thing?
Yeah, and he should hit level 17 pretty quickly here. Then we'll see if that's good enough to go.
All right, DK, 187 Green Dragon kills over the first 2 weeks. Is there anyone who can beat that?
Well, I had 88 the first week. I forget what I got last night when I ran it.
Wow, Schmike, you have killed 0 green dragons over these 2 weeks. Are you even playing this game?
I just found a better grind. You never know.
Okay, so Bob is leaving to heal and go back in. I think, or is everyone else just taking death warps, or have I been missing the walks?
Looks like Gelf is walking out. He's still only got the single death.
It is a really short walk, but I would still think that, I don't know. I haven't been paying enough attention to properly equate that, but I'm usually just a go ahead and die sort of person.
Yeah, that's how I would be too, especially with it being this close. You know, it's another thing if Tantagel wasn't right there outside. You know, if it was just Garanham outside of Swamp Cave, then you would absolutely be using outside every time and not wanting the Death Warp.
All right, level 17. That is 126 attack power on 11 heal mores. That seems not good enough yet.
Yeah, I mean, you get the doubles, but it seems pretty dicey to me.
Yeah, even with, again, the problem with doubles is that the ability to get them relies on the amount of rounds you can last, which means if you have a lot of MP, you're going to get more doubles anyway, just because you'll be able to stick around more rounds. So, I don't know. It's unfortunately we don't have a strength MP build. That one might wind up being the winner this race.
Yeah, and there's also the thing where, you know, you get the 140 HP, and then, you know, you get like an opening double or triple, but then, you know, you heal up, and then you're up to what, you know, 110, 130, maybe 140. But I mean, you're not going to get all the way back up to the 140 and get those, you know, triples consistently unless you perhaps heal higher, which then might lose yourself a double.
Yes, and chat is chiming in that 17 is borderline or dicey. I would say sketchy.
Yeah, Yeah, Smashing noting that 17 would have been viable if Fairy Water was on. And yeah, I would agree with that assessment.
And I have a feeling we're not going to see any of our runners on screen do that. But I wonder if any other runner did. Would that be a... Does anybody want to raise their hand and admit that they made that sort of mistake?
Oh, I know I kept grinding.
All right, we have one. So our collective pity goes out to you. I won't say your name on stream. Oh man, yeah. I mean, bottom zone of Sharlock, you might even think, do I need to go an extra level? But when you're racing against 30-some people, I think the pressure has to be no. I have to go the earliest possible moment, which might be why we had people go at 17. Oh, the question specifically was, did you go up to the Dragon Lord with a bunch of fairy water at 17 and not realize that it didn't work?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I know I certainly tested it out. I think it was in the middle of my Green Dragon grind. I'm like, wait a minute, I have Fairy Water. Does this work? Because I need to know this. This is very important for the Dragon Lord fight. So Fairy Water, I believe it hits for the equivalent of 134 attack power. Angel Saint's 132.
I thought Fairy Water was more like 134. I guess it's weird because its range isn't as big. So it's like, yeah, because it's 8 to 17 at 134 with attacking, but 916 because, I don't know, because it is. So it looks like Nim is trying to stretch this out. If he manages to get this level without dying, I mean, I should rephrase that. If he doesn't, that could be pretty big for Diabetes, who might be able to get that level on this particular thing. It might help to catch up a little bit. But he's getting hit pretty hard, so I don't know if he's going to manage it. And we don't know that 18 is go level yet anyway. So, but I think he'd have to kill, what, 2 more? 3 more? I don't know. He's going to use herbs. He wants this.
Yeah, and you do notice Diabetes closing the EXP gap using the Herbmores.
I guess it was 1. I had my math incorrect, but there he goes. 4, 1, 0, 15. That 4 puts us at an even 130 attack power, I think, but that extra 15 with the expected doubles, I think that is 100% go mode, and we've seen them leaving.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just kind of general know it's 130 attack power and 80 MP or so. Or 90, I guess.
So to do the math for chat, 130 attack power is 14 and a half rounds. I probably rounded up to 15. And then the MP is 13 heal mores. So you're already in good shape without doubles. Like that extra MP was really what did it there.
Yeah, it's usually the strength MP, you know, the balance between the two when you're trying to find that go level. And we have Nimova entering Sharlock and starting his dive.
There we go. So we'll see. Is Charlotte going to behave for him? Are we going to have any issues? He does still have all that fairy water built up, I believe. So he should be able to repel. With 97 DP, he's repelling everything short of Blue Dragon. So half of Charlock and the vast majority of what you're going to see in these first couple floors.
Yeah, he's going to have a real nice walk down. Yeah, definitely a benefit of the agility build today.
Diabetes also on his way, a bit behind, is going to require something bad to happen to Nim on this walk, I think, to catch up. Yeah, because he's probably a couple minutes behind at this point. Now, looking at the other two, Bob Pineapple and Guelph, I believe are both at 17 at this point. Experience is pretty tight, and Guelph is he going?
He might be doing a diving grind, I'm not sure.
With the attack, if he's able to keep all of his NP, I think it's possible.
We see Nim going to get his sword. There's that wrinkle too. You got to go get the sword out of Sharlock. Maybe that's it. Going to get the sword and trying to get the EXP for 18 right there.
Right, and yeah, he's going to be hitting pretty hard. It just some of the enemies in Sharlock with vanilla abilities aren't things you're really going to want to deal with, like wizards specifically come to mind. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, sorry, Tristal. Unfortunately, you came in after everything but the final grind and dive was done. So you missed all the exciting finding of things. But the tail of the tape is that Nim and Diabetes both just sat on a static grind until they got hurt more at 10. Nim went out to find stuff while Diabetes continued on the grind to 14. Then they flipped positions, and that's kind of where they are. Both Guelph and Bob Pineapple did a little bit more exploration early on, and it took up, I don't know if there were a lot of bad deaths, but I just think the lack of having Repel on to ignore everything slowed him down a bit.
There's that, but also that initial grind zone that they found near Garenham with the, like Wolf Lords and Wyverns and all that, that really propelled these four runners. All four of them found that and spent quite a bit of time early. Once they had the initial gear, they're like level 5, killing Wyverns for, 80 experience a pop.
We see Nim now in the bottom zone, was able to get away from the enemy there, the Armored Knight on the first go. And a lot of agility helps. He should have the advantage against everything. That doesn't mean it's going to work. And you can still get hit with a Sleepy Red if you get some bad luck.
2 run fails on this Red Dragon so far for Nim, but not seeing the sleep. I think the sleep is only 25% on the Reds.
Yeah, having to dig in to use the one heal more there, it's a bit unfortunate. Not using the fairy water here in the basement, which would have got him away from the wizard. Or was he out? Did he use them all?
I didn't see his inventory.
So he's getting bottlenecked a little bit there, and there's his sleep. Now you get to see what the Red Dragon does. I mean, I don't play vanilla ever, so I don't know how these things work, but you could basically just get obliterated by a Red Dragon sleeping you and locking you in place at any point, couldn't you?
To some degree, but they also had the baby breath, so it could be put to sleep, and then they breathe on you for, 10 to 12 or 3 rounds.
Alright, so Nim is now 2 heal mores down. I think at this point it has to count on at least 1 double, but that seems almost guaranteed, especially with the defense. Like, it would have to just breathe all the time for that to not come through.
And him coming up to the spike tile there. 0 herbs in his inventory.
Well, checking the treasury here. Is he looking for herbs, or is there anything that can be in here?
I'm not exactly sure what is in the vanilla treasure. I know there's 1 cursed belt, but I don't know of the other items. Yeah, I don't think he knows that it is the vanilla spots.
So he's going to go back for the sword. MP use-wise, he's still okay, but he can't really use anything else at this point. Or else I think his ability to go in is going to be significantly compromised. On that note, Nim is now talking to the Dragon Lord. Still has 11 heal mores. Looks to be in very solid shape to take this one.
Yep, looks should be a pretty straightforward fight for Nim.
All right, he's going to get possibly an opening triple here. Very nice to see. That puts any sort of doubt kind of at bay just right off the bat.
Yep, and 27 on the opening 3 swings.
Yeah, at 130 AP, it's rolling, I think, 7 to 15. So double digits is probably all that you're hoping for, really, out of this.
Yeah, that's what you want for sure.
Meanwhile, right on his heels, Diabetes is now going in, has an extra heal more in tow, has that extra hit points. I would feel even more confident. So if something bad happens on Nim's end, it's very unlikely that Diabetes does not finish this one off.
Yeah, Diabetes probably has a couple herbs too, but that's pretty negligible in the first fight.
All right, another double from Nim. So again, we're not. It's coming down to basically don't miss menu at this point, and I wouldn't say anything about commentators' curses because this is already over. So there's no way that can happen.
Yeah, and even without the giant amount of HP, the stats would probably be go anyways with the strength of the MP.
I mean, if I somehow knew that, Brian, and I was saying that, that would be really, really terrible of me. So it looks like Guelph is going back in level 17. We thought maybe a bit of a diving grind, but no. Just going in right on that. Not worried about it at all. Again, heal mores are a little bit sketchy. And, I'm talking about how safe everything was for Nim. Okay, there we go.
Yep, Dragon Lord has been taken down by Nineveh. Get your GGs in chat.
Meanwhile, Diabetes looks like he is in control. I haven't seen the rolls. Man, Nim must have rolled pretty low to have it be that tight. But he ends up winning the race overall, first place, with a final time of, drumroll, 1:12:33. So GG's to him.
Yeah, GG, well done.
And same for Diabetes. Ends up taking out that Dragon Lord, no problem, going in for what looks to be a second place finish. Guelph going in at level 17, 11 heal mores. This one could be a little bit scary, but he managed to keep all of those herbs and is probably going to keep those hit points up to possibly get an opening triple or better on the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, looking like he's banking on the high HP to get, extra doubles and stuff that way.
And Diabetes II's official time was 1:13:10. So GG's to him. Nim getting the automatic qualifier into the final tournament. Does not even need to race anymore, but probably will because I know that he loves these sorts of flags.
I forget if the average time is used for seeding or how that goes with the playoffs.
Yes, I have put no effort into learning how that is determined, the actual seating. But again, I'm pretty sure that he's all in for this. This is exactly what he wants to be doing with Dragon Warrior Randomizer, racing this sort of stuff. As we watch Guelph with this fight, if he does not finish this off, we know that Bob Pineapple's right behind him and looks to be in complete control, has plenty of resources. Probably the same condition that Diabetes was in coming in here. So third and fourth in our race on the screen here really comes down to if Guelph continues to roll pretty well, which so far he has. This has not been too scary of a fight, and getting another double there.
Oh, he's looking in good shape right now. I'm surprised more people possibly didn't go on 17. I had kind of considered it, but I'm like, yeah, it's too dicey,
Yeah, I think you really had to lean into those hit points counting and the Dragon Lord attacking a lot. And I wouldn't go as far as to say it requires some luck or anything like that, but it was a little bit scary going in. But again, another decent roll, another double, I think, right there. Feels really good about this one.
Yeah, Brian Williams talked about how, it felt like the odds were 10%, but with the 50-50, it gated on the Red Dragon sleep luck, and that's kind of how I felt, because knowing the vanilla abilities, Red Dragon's having sleep, and they're all over the bottom floors. I mean, you got to walk through that, and if you get slept, well, you got to use a heal more possibly, and then you don't have the stuff to win.
And Guelph finishes off a level 17. So GG's to him. I believe our final time for him is 1:16:46. I know I'm saying that a little bit before it happens on screen, but the timer on screen is not accurate to their finish times. And that leaves just Bob Pineapple, who should be finishing up the Dragon Lord here in just a little bit. Believe so. What again? These were our top four players on screen, all receiving those meaty point bonuses, which are going to be very important to, if you do not win one of the rounds, to be one of the 7 remaining people who are able to qualify.
And Bob has taken down the Dragon Lord.
I think he had the easiest fight out of all of them. Really, just kind of took it to him, and so he'll be finishing up here in just a moment. Um, with time probably just over 118. I do have them open. I should probably comment about that. And there's our Dragon Lord 2, pretty low on hit points. So that may have helped a couple of people finish a round earlier than you might have expected. But the only person that seemed to struggle with the Dragon Lord at all was Nim, who was our winner.
Yeah, I probably just had a bunch of low rolls.
Alrighty, thank you, Brian. And as the screen says, Bob Pineapple technically finished fifth because our winner from last week, Angel, actually snuck in with a slightly quicker time. But we didn't want to show him up on screen because he doesn't technically count anymore. Yes, it affects points, which matter, but it does not count. If he had won this race and Nim finished second, Nim would still get the automatic qualifier. So that is how it works.
Yeah,
I hope.
okay.
So the dreams of the Angel sweep have been crushed, and now we know that no one will win all of the races. Hopefully, nobody wins twice. That would be really neat because that would make the end of this pretty crucial. But I can only hope for so much.
Yeah, I'll have to see how it plays out week to week.
And here we go with the PowerPoint presentation slideshow presented by Brian Williams 42. Everyone clap.
Yep, we'll get the rundown here.
Oh man, there is a Jeb Bush emote, unfortunately. But here we go, top 12. Anybody on here that is picks out as interesting to you, Piglet?
Well, Bright Teeth kind of sticks out. It's not a name you see too often in the community.
I know he's a very good Final Fantasy randomizer runner. I put up a pretty good time. We see some interesting one-word explanations here. Vanilla Swirl by Guelph. It was fairly vanilla in a lot of ways. Randomized with some question marks by Bob Pineapple.
I like Cyberdark, the reverse-ish count.
I mean, it's a tricky one if you managed it. That's awesome. And a 100 green dragons from Big Slamu. We already. Who else broke that? Maybe that can be a new field in the submission form. How many green dragons did you kill? And the bottom half of our list, we see Swamp. Yes, I hate red dragons. That kind of makes me feel like we saw multiple dives there. We already heard that from Zarnax with his Voon. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And then the last set here, Kickless, 90 hurt more is nice.
Yeah, I didn't do great.
So we see keys. I imagine that means that they didn't realize they didn't need keys and struggled till Remolder dodging things. Swamp, weaklings. Very standard is not one word, but I guess it's passable.
Yeah, I'll allow it, I guess. And here we got the standings through the 2 weeks. We got Angel FM and Nimova both qualified with 80 points. Then we got Golf in third with 65, Big Slamu with 63, Archfield is 62, Brian Williams and Diabetes is second, both tied, 61, Tristle 58, Bob Pineapple 57, High Spears and DK tied at 55, Arn Polly and Beta Step tied at 53, Ziggy with 51, and Smashy at 46.
If for whatever reason we were tied, or this was the end and we counted it just at this, we would have a tie for the last spot between Arn Pulley and Beta Strap. It was interesting. I don't think there was a lot of reliability between the first week and the second. There was a few people who finished fairly similar, but for the most part, quite a few positions changed between the weeks.
Yeah, I noticed you can't really see anymore, but Angel FM and Nima both had the opposite places the 2 weeks.
It will be interesting to see what happens with. I don't quote me as 100% on this, but I think Big Slamu isn't able to race next week. So him being in fourth place could be an interesting challenge to see if he's able to catch back up later or who that opens the door for.
There's that, but there's also the fact that your lowest time gets crossed off completely, so you could just completely not run a week and then still be in it.
Oh, I did not know that. Again, I haven't actually read much of the rules, so that helps when you have a fall week like this. So, again, just to kind of look at what we have on the screen, Yakko didn't have the best week this last week, but did pretty well the week before, so could just drop this one and it won't matter.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get rid of this week.
So week 3, probably dependable map, which means base flags plus vanilla map is on, random zones are off, and open Charlock is off.
So we'll all know what the map is. The random zone's off. That it's going to be interesting. So we know zone 0 will have, it'll be just like the seed this week where we had the red slimes and the blue slimes only.
Only they could be giving 200 plus experience because we have random experience. So also, yeah, the random zones get altered if stats are randomized for the enemies, correct?
I don't think so. I mean, it's just vanilla zones are just vanilla zones.
No, I think the zone 0, 1, and 2, if we have random stats on
Oh,
enemies, get
right.
altered.
Yeah, that's right. If it's chaos monsters, yes.
So you'll know very quickly if you see a slime and it doesn't kill you, it's probably safe. So awesome. Yep, seed is up on Discord, unless Brian's lying about that, but we'll assume it's true. If not, it'll be there shortly. And yeah, that wraps it up for week 3, or week 2, excuse me. If you have any thoughts, share them in chat. Otherwise, it seemed like a fairly, excuse me, fairly grindy experience.
Yeah, it's pretty grindy that seed, but it's what you got to do sometimes.
All right. With that said, are we going to raid anyone, or do we? What are our plans? Are we just going to cut for the rest of the stream?
I don't see plans, so we may just be cutting.
No raid for now, but continue to stay on the channel anyway. No, just kidding. Thanks for hanging out. We're actually going to raid LZ Cards fan, who is actually, I don't know what he's doing. He is playing Dragon Warrior Randomizer, doing a co-op with Oog, one of our tournament runners. So that sounds very exciting. Take a look, and otherwise, we'll see you all again soon.
Yeah, have a good one. Good luck with week 3, everybody.